A 60-year-old man trains for 4 months straight, 4 to 8 hours a day, getting thrown through windows and doing his own car stunts. Most people his age, they're taking it easy. But Keanu Reeves is training like a Navy SEAL. Here's the strange part. He seems completely calm about it. Almost too calm. Like there's a secret nobody knows about. And there is. Keanu Reeves has spent over 3 decades in Hollywood without a single major scandal. Think about that. 3 decades in an industry known for destroying people. While other stars crash and burn under pressure, Keanu just keeps going. Fans share stories about meeting him, and they all say the same thing. He has this calm energy about him. But calm doesn't just happen. Not when you're doing John Wick stunts at 60. Not when you've lost people you love. Not when cameras follow you everywhere. So what's really going on? The answer isn't what you'd expect. Let's start with something you can actually see. His training for John Wick. Chapter 4, Keanu trained for 12 weeks before filming even started. That's 3 months of pure discipline. But here's what makes it different. His trainer, Patrick Murphy, says, "I have never seen anyone with his kind of work ethic. He puts ultimate respect into every area he's trying to study." Notice that word, respect. Not obsession, not pressure. Respect. Keanu trains 4 to 8 hours with stunt teams, then another hour with Murphy. He learns jiu-jitsu, judo, tactical firearms, and stunt driving. At 58 years old during John Wick 4, he performed about 90% of his own stunts. But listen to this part. He doesn't lift heavy weights. He does high-rep circuits with light weights and bodyweight exercises. Murphy explains the goal is muscular endurance and stability, not looking huge. Director Chad Stahelski says, Keanu doesn't want special treatment. He wants to do the hard work, side by side with the stunt team. After every brutal training session, Keanu gets deep tissue massages and takes ice baths. Then comes the most important part, a disciplined stretching routine, every single time. That's not about being tough, that's about being sustainable. Now here's where it gets interesting. Before every action scene, Keanu meditates, but not in the way you think. He told interviewers, probably not any formal meditation. I have that expression. I have to get my mind right. Getting his mind right. That's the phrase he uses. Here's the backstory. In 1993, Keanu traveled to Nepal to research for the film Little Buddha. There, he learned meditation from Nepalese Buddhists. Nearly 30 years later, people still talk about his calm presence. Keanu practices mindfulness daily, incorporating present moment awareness into his routine. He studied Buddhist and Taoist teachings, particularly Zen Buddhism, which emphasizes clearing mental clutter and being fully present. During the John Wick films, meditation helps him cultivate the mental stillness required to perform in the moment. No distractions, no worries, just complete focus. Cast and crew say his calm energy acts as a stabilizing force for everyone involved in the production. But meditation isn't something he turns on and off. He finds pockets of time throughout the day to center himself. Between scenes, before bed, whenever he needs to reset. There's another practice most people miss. Keanu spends a lot of time alone. And he does it on purpose. People notice photos of him sitting quietly on benches, just thinking. One person who studied his life wrote, "It seems this time alone has helped Keanu process the tragedies his life has produced, and that is how we find meaning to endure." His director, Francis Lawrence, said, "Do I really know Keanu after working with him? No. I know things about him. He's hardworking, he's generous, he's a sweet, sweet guy. But it's all just sort of on the surface." Even his manager of decades describes him as having a way of keeping himself away from other people. This isn't about being antisocial, it's about protecting his energy. In a 2008 interview, Keanu said, "I don't own a computer and I don't email. I'm fascinated by people who freak out when they don't get an instant response to an email." He has no social media presence, no Instagram documenting his life, no Twitter sharing his thoughts. This creates what experts call detachment from the spotlight. The pattern is clear. Keanu goes away from the spotlight, does internal work, then comes back stronger. He did it after the 1990s, after The Matrix, before John Wick. One writer observed, "If you never go away from the spotlight in your career, you can't do the difficult work on yourself that is required to level up." Now let's talk about something most celebrities can't do, saying no to fame itself. Keanu is extremely private, and he refuses to divulge anything about his childhood, his father, his sister's leukemia, or his own feelings about it all. When asked personal questions in interviews, he makes no apologies for preserving his privacy. For him, it's as simple as, "I don't really want to tell you." This creates something important: boundaries. Reeves explained in a 1995 Vanity Fair interview his discomfort with talking about himself, saying sometimes in interviews he's not ready to explain things, so he just says, "Excellent," and then adds, "You know what, man? It's okay." By maintaining privacy, Reeves can focus on his work and personal relationships without the constant scrutiny of the media. This approach allows him to cultivate a sense of authenticity and integrity. But here's the tricky part: he's still incredibly kind to fans. Murphy recalls that during John Wick 3 in New York, it could take 30 minutes to cover a 3-minute journey from his apartment to the gym because he couldn't say no to fans asking for a photo. One time, an autistic boy jumped on him from behind, and KR turned rapidly and realized the situation. The mother was apologetic, but KR embraced and calmed the boy immediately. So he's kind in public but guards his private life. That's the balance. Here's the part that makes everything else make sense. Keanu's calm comes from pain, not from avoiding it. In the late 1990s, his girlfriend Jennifer Syme lost their baby daughter Ava to stillbirth. Weeks later, they broke up. Then in 2001, Syme died in a car accident. Around the same time, his sister Kim battled leukemia. Keanu spent years caring for her, selling his house so she could live somewhere more comfortable, and quietly donating millions to leukemia research. When asked about grief and his role in John Wick, Keanu said, "Well, for the character and in life, it's about the love of the person you're grieving for. And anytime you can keep company with that fire, it is warm. I absolutely relate to that, and I don't think you ever work through it. Grief and loss, those are things that don't ever go away. They stay with you. That's not someone who's calm because life is easy. That's someone who's calm because he's learned to carry weight." Buddhist teachings on impermanence have influenced his outlook on life and loss. The meditation practice helps him cultivate inner peace, clarity, and resilience. And his Buddhist practice has fostered a deep sense of compassion and empathy. Behind the action sequences and choreographed fights is a man who knows that discipline is its own kind of therapy. There's one more piece: active humility. Keanu famously said, "Try to be wrong once in a while, it'll do your ego good." That's not just a quote, it's how he lives. He takes the subway like anyone else. He treats crew members with the same respect as directors. Stories show him helping crew members move heavy equipment without being asked and maintaining the same respectful demeanor with everyone, regardless of status. He took pay cuts to allow for other actors' salaries. He gifted Harley-Davidson motorcycles to the Matrix stunt team. He once bought ice cream for a fan who asked for an autograph because he thought they might enjoy it. These aren't calculated PR moves, but natural expressions of someone who genuinely sees everyone as equal. Keanu even stated, "Money is the last thing I think about. I could live on what I've already made for the next few centuries." When people meet him, they say he has a general demeanor of gentle befuddlement as to why I or anyone would want to talk to him. That's real humility, not fake modesty. Keanu also holds himself accountable in ways most people don't. He's described as persistent and stubborn when it comes to work. Stahelski says his work ethic is not normal, and that we push him to his absolute limit, and he always brings an extraordinary level of commitment. Master shooter Taron Butler, who trained Keanu for John Wick, declared him the best actor he's ever worked with in regard to his skills with a gun. That doesn't happen by accident. Murphy says, "KR is always ready to go and kick ass in the gym. I put together huge rep schemes and he does it without blinking an eye. There isn't any magic to it. KR puts in the work and reaps the benefit." Keanu told Esquire, "You're always fighting for a career. I mean, there's a few people who don't have to worry." No. You're always fighting for a career. He knows nothing is guaranteed, so he shows up like it matters. So here's what actually creates Keanu's calm. It's not one thing. It's a system. Physical discipline that's sustainable, not destructive. Mental practices that create space instead of noise. Strategic solitude that protects his energy. Clear boundaries that preserve his authenticity. Acceptance of grief instead of running from it. active humility that keeps ego in check, and accountability that makes excellence normal. The result? Someone described as having an almost mythical status in Hollywood, not for scandals or ego, but for his extraordinary groundedness. But notice what's missing. He's not trying to be calm. He's built a life that produces calm as a side effect. The discipline isn't about control. It's about respect. Respect for the work, respect for people, respect for grief, respect for privacy, respect for the process. At 60 years old, he's still training like he's 30, still meditating like it matters, still choosing solitude when he needs it, still protecting his boundaries, still carrying his grief with dignity, still treating everyone the same. The hidden discipline behind Keanu Reeves' calm isn't hidden at all. It's just the opposite of what most people do. While others chase attention, he protects his energy. While others avoid pain, he learns from it. While others need constant validation, he finds peace in silence. While others demand special treatment, he helps move equipment. The calm you see, it's earned through thousands of hours of training, through daily meditation, through deliberate solitude, through maintained boundaries, through processed grief, through consistent humility, through relentless accountability. That's not magic, that's discipline. The kind you don't see until you look close enough.